Get off of I-80 in Nebraska and take Highway 2. You never know what you might see. Some kind of quirky things, maybe. Let's go down that road. Here's I-80. We debated on going up to Scotts Bluff. It was amazing that we could see it from about 30-40 miles away when we were on this road here. That was pretty crazy. It was big. But we did not do that. We stayed in Sydney, and then we went up 385, and then you go over here, and then you go up 385 to Alliance. And then Carhenge was just outside of town, and now we're on Highway 2, and we're going to go all the way probably to Thetford. And I would like to stay in this Nebraska National Forest. There's a cool story about that. And then we'll go up, I think, or we're going to go down. We're not sure yet. See what the wind blows us to. Carhenge.
Your first question upon encountering Carhenge might be, why? But creator Jim Reinders,
I think it is.
the answer would simply be,
why not?
After spending 7 years of his career as a petroleum engineer in England, Reinders returned home inspired by a grand idea. He would create a Stonehenge replica, a Stonehenge West, for his hometown of Alliance, Nebraska. With no giant slabs of stone present in the area, Reinders decided on a new medium for his sculpture: cars. Cars would be readily available, would be similar in shape and size to the stones of Stonehenge, and the wheels would simplify logistics immensely. The original 25 cars were erected during a Reinders family reunion in 6 days and dedicated on the summer solstice, June 21st, 1987. We were able to reduce the time of the original Stonehenge construction by 9,999 years and 51 weeks.
And then they painted everything just recently the gray to give it a little bit more of a Stonehenge look. Six days to do all this. How do they get them up on top of each other?
Well, it takes 6 strong guys to lift it up, or a hoist of sorts.
My goodness. They still have some of the tires even are still on them. Goodness. Oh gosh. Oh, there's one car over there that the birds really like. Just one out of all these. Isn't that funny? You can smell the paint. Here we have a station wagon. Get it? We used to have a station wagon when we were kids. All 5 of us kids would fit in it too. That top part up there is a birdhouse. We've been seeing birds coming out of the holes up there. They need a wind like we had the other night. Then they must really make noise. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere here. These are called the 4 seasons, the Ford seasons. Here lie 3 bones of foreign cars. They served their purpose while Detroit slept. Now Detroit is awake and America's great. Wait, there's more. This must be the only one they decided was okay for graffiti. Bruce was here. A lot of little kids' handprints. This is a different language down here. A lot of this graffiti is very current. Very current. Maybe. Boy, that would have a lot of paint on it.
Maybe it's just a new feature.
No. World War II time capsule. Took a picture of that. Buried on June 19th, 2004 by the I'm assuming, Alliance High School. Classes of 1941 to 45. Jim Reinders and Paul Panouf. And opened that on June 2044. This one is a 20th century carousel. Buried June 21st, 2003 by Jim Reinders for his 75th birthday. Dissenter, June 21st, 2053. The one with all the signatures and everything on it was for autographs only, although they had a lot of other things on there. The 3 bells represent the 3 Reinders siblings. Interesting fact about Carhenge is that when Jim Reinders decided he wanted to build it, the town of Alliance was very against it. And then tourists started coming. And now they're totally on board and everything turned out great.
Great.
Yeah. Everything turned out great.
Oh. That too.
Yeah. This Nebraska National Forest, we got some mud here. Was hand planted on sand dune like we saw yesterday, with all the sand dunes all along Highway 2. This little pavilion here. Must do some nature lessons and things here, and picnics. All about the forest, things you find in the forest. When you lose a forest, you lose a lot more than trees. Some of those toys and things and furniture and animals. So this forest was planted kind of as an experiment back in 1908 by, oh gosh, I think his name was Edward Bessie. Oh, I may have that wrong. I know Bessie is the last name. And he wanted to see how trees would do on the sand dunes, because this was all sand dune, just like what we saw along the road yesterday. And they are thriving, obviously. Every kind of tree imaginable here. The evergreen. No palm trees, nope. They have evergreens and some maples and cottonwood and cedars. We didn't get much walking in yesterday. We decided to do some walking today. It goes on way over there, continues. There must be some ATV trails in here because everybody has an ATV.
Except us.
Except us. We're the only ones in the whole campground, I think, that don't have an ATV. That was a short walk.
Yes, it was.
Most of the trails here are for ATVs, which explains why there's so many ATVs here in the park.
Yeah.
We're almost back to our campsite already. So
maybe a mile.
Oh, we went a mile?
Maybe.
Like a quarter mile, maybe. That wasn't very far. Oh, I wanted to meet those dogs so bad. Just wasn't the right timing. They have 3 huskies in the RV over here. I don't know if you can see it. And they have a 4th one at home. We decided to get off of Highway 2 instead of continuing on to Broken Bow and going down to Grand Island. We decided to pull off and go on 83 south to North Platte. And along the way we saw this scenic overlook. Well, we always take scenic overlooks. And it isn't a scenic overlook, it's a scenic loop, which is okay. And along this little road, we have the Sandhills all around us. They're just a part of this region. But anyway, we took this little road, and then there was this little scenic loop. There was a parking lot when we first got onto it. We didn't take that. We just kept going just to see where it would go, and it came into this little pull-through here. So we had our lunch. We had the window open and just listening to the birds. When we first got here, a wild turkey went across. Listen to the birds. There's all kinds of tracks in the grass here. Probably have deer. And then the wild turkeys like we saw. Looking to see if it says anything about no overnight camping. We don't see that anywhere. I'm brushing away flies though, they're biting me. There's always got to be something that, you know, to a peaceful place. So just up the hill where that truck was, where the yellow line, that's where we got on the road, and then it just loops around. It's called Scenic River Road. It's got several names actually. At the beginning it was called Scenic Overlook, and then it was Scenic Loop Bypass, and then it became Scenic River. So I don't know, whatever. But it's off of 83.
Pretty scenic.
Very pretty. We are back on I-80 East. What did you think of Highway 2 in Nebraska?
It was kind of interesting, but not as much as we had expected.
And as far as an RVer goes, if you have a fifth wheel or a bigger, or a Class C or a bigger RV, we did not see a lot of RVs on Highway 2. Most people that we talked to at the National Forest were people who lived in the area and just traveled to just a short distance to that National Forest. But on the road itself, between Alliance and the Bessie National Forest, we did not see a lot of RVs.
Very few.
And partly because there are very small towns along the way and they don't have RV parks. And even freecampsites.net, there was just very few things that came up, and they were all right next to the railroad tracks if they came up at all. So there just wasn't a lot of places to spend the night or anything like that. So make sure you allow enough time to get from one point to the next. Carhenge was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. And the Sandhills of Nebraska cover a quarter of the state. And it's the largest area of sandhills in the Western Hemisphere. They just went on and on and on and on and on forever. And then when we took Highway 83 yesterday south, the sandhills were on either side of us again. I mean, it's just a massive area where these sandhills are. But they don't go sledding on them.
No. Not until it's winter, anyway.
You'll have to check out that video of Monahans State Park in Texas where Gary and I did some epic sand sledding. That was cool. So we weren't sure what to expect, and it was a very quiet drive. It's a 2-lane all the way. Very few places for an RV to pull over. Very few places for you to get out of the way of other traffic. Surprising amount of semi-traffic, which they were all going the opposite direction. So that was our experience with Highway 2. We were not on it all the way. We were going to stay on and continue on and go down as far as Grand Island with it, but we decided we just wanted to see some other sites. So we went to North Platte, Nebraska, and if you want to see that video, you'll have to subscribe to our channel and be watching for that. And we'll show you the largest train yard in the world. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. hit that subscribe button down below. Next to it, a bell's gonna pop up. Ring the bell and you'll be notified every time a new video comes up. Check out our Facebook page, Roads of Faith. Share our videos, comment on them. We love comments. We'll write back. We appreciate you being on our journey with us. Till next time, God bless.